Hello, everybody. This is Julissa. Thank you so much, everybody, for coming back to my channel. Thank you so much to everybody who is listening in the podcast. It is Tuesday, March 11, 2025. I wanted to come here and speak about the situation that Wendy Williams is having with their conservatorship and her family, apparently. There's a lot of stuff that, in my case, after looking at it and reading about it, really doesn't make sense. And, if you're not aware, I'm going to give you more details. But before I continue, of course, I want to say thank you to everybody who listens using Spotify. And thank you so much, everybody who's watching this video on YouTube. Thank you so much for being here. So, Wendy Williams and her family has been dealing with the situation for the past, I don't even know how long it's been, but we know that, a lot has happened to her. The recent interview that I saw of her speaking, she keeps saying how she was put in a mental hospital and there's nothing wrong with her. She's very alert and she knows what's happening. And compared to everybody who is around her, she really doesn't belong there. Let me tell you, after dealing with the situation that I dealt with my mom, and not to keep it very private, but when people get to that stage when they are basically committed for a period of time to a behavioral health institution, it's not like you just say, this person needs help and then you leave them there. There's a lot of testing that goes along. You meet with a social worker, there's forms that you have to sign, and unless they get better, they're not allowed to leave. Okay, so it could take months, and if it takes more than 3 months, you have to go to a court, and there's have to be a judge decision based on that. So there's a lot of testing, a lot of paperwork, especially for the family, and it's very hard on families to see your loved one going through something like that, right? It's not for everybody. It's a very intense, stressful situation. And for her to be interviewed, right? When was that? Like 3 weeks ago, she came out, did an interview, and she was saying, I didn't belong there, this and that. Really makes me wonder, like, who's managing her whole situation? Because usually you don't hear something like that from the patient, right? A lot of the times, this is a side note. When I used to go visit my mom, I did have some patients that came and spoke to me, and by speaking to them, in the common areas, you will never think they belong there, right? But then you kind of, in the back of your head, you kind of know, like, they're here for a reason, even though they will have a full-on conversation with you about many things. It could be about the weather, the food, and what they were doing earlier, what activity was happening, and they will be very normal conversation. I don't know how to explain it, but then you kind of knew that in this secure behavioral health unit, there was a reason why that person was there, right? And it's very strange, she was spotted at a window of this Wendy Williams I'm speaking about. She was spotted at a window of this mental institution hospital saying that she needed help, and the police responded to that. That's another thing that I find very strange, because the officials will know, oh, that's like that is that type of unit. We rather speak to the director and see what's going on before we actually send people over there. That's just from my experience. I never seen them respond to this. The police directly respond to that, especially when there is a patient saying that they need help, because like I said, usually there's a lot of testing that goes on before they even get to be there, right? Especially, and also the families usually involved, right? So it says here, Wendy Williams has been removed from an assisted living facility by the NYPD and was taken to a hospital in an ambulance. I mean, those decisions usually don't come from police officers. They come from the nurse director, the medical director of that facility. It doesn't just be like, because, they're not there because they were kidnapped, right? So I don't know if you guys I think people that deal with this will probably understand better where I'm coming from. They're not there because they're missing or kidnapped, right? Usually they're there because there's a plan of action to make them feel better, to make them get better for whatever situation it is that they're dealing with. And like I said, people don't just get admitted to those places, right? Unless there's something undercover going on, right? They usually go through a whole process of it, right? So she was, says here, the New York Police Department confirmed that Wendy Williams was transported to the hospital after they conducted a wellness check on March 10, so yesterday. Authorities responded to Williams at an assisted living facility for a welfare check on Monday, March 10, and she was escorted out of the building. Like, there are photos of her leaving with the police, like in the fire department. Like, I have never seen them do that. Taking a patient out of an assisted living facility. I never seen anything like this before. It's just, it's almost like there's something else going on that they're not really releasing here. It says here that she was escorted out of the building and EMS transported her in an ambulance to a local hospital for an evaluation. According to the reports, the 60-year-old former talk show host dropped a note out of her window earlier that morning, allegedly that she needed help, like I told you guys earlier. She has been living under a legal guardianship that oversees both her finances and health since May of 2022. So it's been almost 3 years. In recent months, she has been in an ongoing legal battle to end her conservatorship with the court-appointed guardian Sabrina Morrissey, who claims Williams is congenitally, I do apologize, I'm mispronouncing that word. She congenitally impaired, permanently disabled, and legally incapacitated. She's saying that, so they're saying this is the reason why she needs a conservator, and Wendy Williams is saying I actually don't, right? But we know with people in these cases, the majority of them, like I said, I kind of like know a little more about it, right? They usually don't know exactly what's going on, right? And they mistake a lot of situations, and they always feel like they don't understand why there's people like helping them, because they think they got it basically. And I think this could be the case here because the reason that I'm saying this because it's just usually when you see something like this happen to a person, there's already been a lot of tests going on, right? Could they get better? Of course, right? So maybe this is the reason why it's no longer needed and that she's crying out for help, right? But when they are in a case like this, there's an ongoing type of, like follow up with doctors and, specialists to see how better they're getting to get to the point where they're like, okay, she's no longer needs to be in this home or this assisted living facility. She's basically, completed the program and she's fully ready to go back, to integrate back to the community. So there's something off, right? She added that the elevators in the facility, which she called a prison, are locked and visitors are restricted, and she's unable to come and go as she pleases. She also alleges that she's unaware of the medication the facility is administering to her. So they requested a new evaluation for her, right? It says here, well, she actually said she was, it says here, she also revealed in a Tubi TV documentary that it says it's called Saving Wendy Williams, which she released in February, that she couldn't remember the last time she was seen by a medical professional. after her 2023 dementia diagnosis. She said it has been a long while. It seems that she couldn't even estimate a general type of frame. And she also said, I was in Connecticut for a year and didn't see anybody. I've been in here for 6-7 months and I haven't seen anybody. And I know she's been calling like TV shows and things like that. So I wonder if somebody from the family or her representative's gonna come out and speak and basically clarify everything, because I mean she was diagnosed in 2023 with dementia. Did she get better, or is she having like she's forgetting like a lot of stuff, right? So she also said, I met the people who live here and I've been here for almost a year now and this is very suffocating. I feel like one thing that I gotta say, I really hope the best for her. One thing I gotta say, I have never seen where you have a patient living at this facility saying, I need help, and the police responds by going to the facility and removing that patient. Like, who allowed that to happen when you have, especially in places like that, you have a director, you have a nurse director. Before the patient can even go even to the hospital, they need to sign a release, right? So I wonder if all of that was like, approved, or like, because you will, if you pass by, let's just say, right, if you pass by an institution that helps people with like behavioral health and things like that, and you see a patient with a sign that says I need help, you will probably reach out. I mean, you probably call the authorities, but the authorities usually will like reach out to the director first and get some kind of backup and see what's going on here. Like, why do you have a patient asking for help at the window? Normally, I never see anything like that where they actually go and get that person out, right? Because if there's something going on, then that facility should be shut down immediately by the state, right? It's almost like, what is going on here? And she's saying she's fine. I also heard that she took a test recently and she aced it. And, maybe she needs to be reevaluated. She's saying she hasn't seen a medical professional. Yet she's at a facility. So I'm sure they have medical professionals there, keeping track of the progress of all the patients, right? Especially when there is a conservatorship appointed, where there is a follow-up and status update that needs to be presented to the court, I guess, right? Before any of that gets approved. So I wonder what's going on here. And I wonder where their family is, right? Maybe she just needs to be at her house with a nurse, right? Maybe not at a facility yet, but still be at home, having the freedom, but have that companionship with somebody checking on her to make sure she's doing good, right? Let me know, guys, what you think about this, and we'll see if there's any updates about her. Thank you so much, everybody, for coming back to my channel. Thank you to everybody who's listening in the podcast. Have a good day, everybody. God bless.